What's up, Leafs Nation? Welcome back to another game preview. I'm Zack Phillips, and today we're going to be teeing up game number 3 of the Toronto Maple Leafs regular season as they take on the Boston Bruins here at home for the first time in this series. You get the split on the road. You make that 1-1-1. You didn't play that bad in game 1, but it was ghosts of playoff past. The top lines, they're generating chances. Austin Matthews, he's all around it. He's got 5 shots on goal. He's got 10 shot attempts. He's buzzing, but he can't get the puck in the back of the net, and you ultimately lose that first game 5-1. Then you go to game 2, and for what felt like one of, if not the first time in 9 years of watching this team, one of the star players said, you know what? Forget it. We're not losing this game. I'm not letting us go back to Toronto down 0-2. And Austin Matthews dominated. From start to finish, him and that first line of Domi and Bertuzzi were electric, bringing the heat shift after shift after shift after shift. Sheldon Keefe had no choice but to continue to look down the bench and say, Matty, you boys get the hell out there because you are buzzing right now. Take over. Austin Matthews, a goal and 2 assists. Max Domi, a goal and an assist in Game 2, winning that one 3-2 there, bringing this series back home to Toronto. Now, obviously, no William Nylander through the first 2 games, and his status still remains unknown. Our good friend, you've seen him here on the Leafs After Dark show. You see him Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. on Leafs Morning Take. Nick Alberga broke news on the show this morning live and on Twitter. It seems like William Nylander has sustained a head injury, keeping him out of the lineup at this point. No one knows as to whether or not he's going to play. No one knows the extent of this injury and how long it's going to keep him out, but he did skate at morning skate this morning, and maybe some good news, I'm not really sure yet, but he skated in line rushes on a normal line alongside Pontus Holmberg and Kalle Järnkrok. This is interesting, because if he's in the line rushes and then he's skating after in the with the scratches, Noah Gregor there taking some time, it could indicate that he's closer than maybe had originally thought or people had originally thought it, and it might just be that they're just testing him out. Obviously, I'm doing nothing but speculating, so that's kind of where I'm at in terms of his return and his timeline there, but that seems like a positive sign. It feels like they might just be testing him out, testing the waters. Is he going to be able to come back? How are you going to feel after you get some extended work? That's the kind of thing that it feels like they're kind of trending towards with putting him into those line rushes. So we'll see throughout the day. We're not really going to get any type of official news until much, much closer to game time, it feels like, whether we see him on the ice in warm-ups or not. As for other stuff, people out there might have been panicking. Maybe you turned on the TV this morning. Maybe you opened up Twitter and you saw Austin Matthews not on the ice at morning skate. If that was a concern of yours, stop. No need to be worried. Austin Matthews just resting. Takes the option, does not go out. I don't really care. If the guy shows up tonight and plays the way he did in Game 2, do whatever the heck you want, Matthews, because if that's the way you're going to play throughout the remainder of this series, you have carte blanche, brother. You can do whatever you want at any given moment. You are a special player doing some incredible things there through the first 2 games. Take all the rest you need. So not worried, but the other indication here would be Nick Robertson was filling in as the placeholder on that first line between Domi and Bertuzzi. If Nylander does come back, it would look like Nick Robertson would be the odd man out. Outside of that, no lineup changes for the Leafs. Samsonov looks like he's still going to go, still be in net. We're also going to have same D pairings as last game. TJ Brody, Mark Giordano remain out. Connor Timmins remains out of this lineup. So no real changes there. As for the Boston Bruins, there's only a couple things to take note of. James Van Riemsdyk was practicing with the first power play unit during the Bruins morning skate here this morning. He was healthy scratched through the first 2 games, so that's something to take note of in terms of the Bruins power play. The other thing, Andrew Peeke for the Bruins sustained an injury during Game 2, will not play here tonight. Mason Lohrei, I'm hoping I'm saying that right. I searched it up. That was the best way that I could figure out how to enunciate it. Mason Lohrei looks like he'll be getting the go here tonight for the Bruins in replacement of Andrew Peeke, who is out with an injury that he did suffer in Game 2. That's pretty much all we've heard out of the Bruins. I have not seen or heard anything about goaltending at this point. We have no idea whether or not they're going to go back to Swayman. We have no idea if they're going to go with Ullmark. I mean, it would assume they're going to go back to Swayman, but just given the head games and the mind games in the chess that gets played during all these situations in the playoffs, you never really know. You never really know what might go on. at this point in time. So as of right now, I'm assuming Swayman, but I have not seen anything official. Now, let's get to something official for today's game preview, something you guys can take away and something maybe you guys can use for tonight's games. Make sure to check out Bet365. I'm thrilled to welcome Bet365 as Leafs Nation After Dark sports betting partner just in time for the 2024 playoffs. We'll be here with Bet365 to provide you all the news, analysis, lines, and betting options for the playoffs. Bet365 is the largest sports betting platform globally. Open an account with Bet365 today. You can use promo code TLNBonus to bet on a huge range of markets. So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Remember, gambling can be addictive. Please play responsibly. Eligible iGames conducted and managed by IGO are only available to those physically present in the province of Ontario. You must be 19 plus when you play, when you sign up. But make sure to head on over to Bet365 because as we pull this up here, it doesn't get any better than this. Look how easy to use this site is for today's best bet that we're going to be using in tonight's game. We're going to head on over to Bet365. I'm going to pull up. I'm looking for different markets. I get chirped, about all these different random markets that I'm looking into, all these places that I'm searching for. But that's where I'm finding value. And today, the place that I'm going to find value, I'm going to head into the Bruins-Leafs game. I'm going to head over to the player props market, shocker, and then I'm going to bet. This one might be the most shocking one that you've ever seen. If you've heard me, if you've heard Nick, Rosie, all talk about it. But this is where I'm finding the most value, and let me tell you why. We're going to go with Mitch Marner anytime goal scorer at plus 225. We're going to play a half unit on this one. Plus 225, Mitch Marner anytime goal scorer. Now, hear me out. Mitch Marner, not traditionally a goal scorer. He's got 0 points through the first 2 games. And there are articles being written about this guy calling him the invisible man. Justifiably so. I have talked about him not showing up in this series. Nick has talked about him not showing up in this series. Rosie has talked about him not showing up in this series. Everyone is bringing up the fact that this man is pulling off the greatest heist of all time. $11 million in the pocket, and when it matters the most, he is nowhere in sight. That being said, there's one thing I've always seemed to notice about Mitch. When he takes criticism from the fans, when he takes criticism from the media, for whatever reason, the very next game, he decides to show up. Now, there's a huge part of me that has some concerns that might not be the case here tonight because it is still the playoffs. And this guy loves to take time off in April and May and just disappear when it matters the most. But I'm going to lean more towards the other side. The fans, they hate his guts right now. The media, they hate his guts right now. His dad is probably sitting there reading every single tweet that has number 16, has Marner, has Mitch in it. This guy is bookmarking them all. He's clipping them all. He's sending them to Mitch. They're pissed off. He's going to come out firing tonight, and he's going to score a goal. Mitch Marner, anytime goal scorer, plus 225 is my best bet for tonight. Make sure to head on over to Bet365 for that. And remember, gambling can be addictive, so please play responsibly. You must be 19 plus in Ontario and in Ontario to bet. So head on over to Bet365. But this is where we're going tonight. It's gonna be a tough one, but you know what? It wins. We get money in our pockets. It loses. Maybe the conversation after the game is about how he didn't show up again. Who knows? But that's our best bet for tonight's game. If you do want to tail, head on over to Bet365. It is the best price in the market right now. Use promo code TLNBonus when you sign up. That is the best way to do it. So make sure to check that out. But thank you so much for tuning in here today. That is all we've got for tonight's game preview. I want to know, what is your prediction for tonight's game? Drop it down below. I've got some other things to add that are just predictions, speculation. Mitch gets on the board, okay? That one, we're betting on it. We're placing a wager. Morgan Rielly, I have barely brought up through the first 2 games. Not good, not bad. Just out there. He's just existing. This guy was a playoff machine last year against the Tampa Bay Lightning, and he was still really good against the Florida Panthers. Tonight, at home, this crowd going nuts. They're going to be electric in that building. I'm calling it right now. The crowd is going to be insane. Morgan Rielly, he's going to feed off of that energy. We're getting a Morgan Rielly coming out party tonight here in Toronto. He's going to have himself a game. Austin Matthews, that first line, they're going to be buzzing. I think they're going to continue to get on the board here tonight. They're going to continue to create chances. The final thing, an exact score prediction. I don't normally do this. I don't always like to do this, but I'm feeling it tonight. I could feel it in my bones. Maple Leafs win 5-1. The Leafs are always good for a big win, a big game in the playoffs at some point. Just one of them. One massive blowout where Mitch gets 4 points and everyone turns around and says, well, he had all the points. That game's tonight. I don't think it's going to be all him, but I think the big boys get involved, and I think they come out right from the jump and they dominate the Bruins. They dominate the Bruins through and through, and they take the series lead, and this home building gets behind the team. And this home building brings that energy into Game 4 on Saturday night. It starts here tonight, and it starts with a Mitch Marner anytime goal. Thank you so much for tuning in to the game preview here. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe here to the channel as well. Turn on notifications so you get notified every single time that we go live here on this show, whether it's the morning take show, if it's the after show, or if it's game previews just like this to help break things down. You're not going to want to miss it as well. If you're looking for playoff gear, head over to nationgear.ca to get your exclusive Bleed Blue gear right now. You can find the link in the description of the show. Make sure to check that out. Thanks so much for tuning in. Drop your predictions below. We'll see everyone right here for Leafs Nation After Dark with Carter Hutton following Game 3 tonight. For more content just like this, including game previews, post-game live shows, Leafs Morning Take Monday through Friday with Nick Alberga and Jay Rosehill with special guests, as well as instant reaction videos, make sure to be subscribed here to the Leafs Nation YouTube channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss anything, and drop a like.